December 21, 2012. The day the world was supposed to end, or at least, that's what your weird doomsday prepping uncle believed. And yet, delightfully, here we are, still going to work, still paying bills, and binge-watching Netflix like nothing happened. But what if something did happen? What if the world as we knew it really did end, and everything since then has been a fabricated reality, a kind of collective illusion we've created to keep ourselves from facing the terrifying truth? Maybe, we're all just, well, dead. It was all anyone could talk about back in 2012. The ancient Mayan calendar was set to end its 5,125-year-long cycle on December 21st, and so the only logical conclusion many could draw from that was that the world was going to end, because of course. This stirred up a mix of fascination and anxiety. Can you remember the frenzy? News outlets ran endless stories dissecting theories, while people rushed to stock up on supplies, panic buying water like toilet paper in 2020. YouTube prophets and conspiracy theorists sprang up overnight, offering dramatic predictions of everything from catastrophic asteroid impacts to deadly planetary alignments. Some claimed we'd be swallowed by a black hole, others warned of a mysterious Planet X colliding with Earth. Hollywood wasn't far behind, cashing in on the hysteria with the blockbuster 2012, where we watched John Cusack narrowly escape earthquakes, mega tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. It was a wild blend of pop culture, pseudoscience, and doomsday fever. Good times, good times. The funny thing is, as the clock ticked closer to midnight on December 21, 2012, a lot of people pretended they weren't taking it seriously, but deep down, everyone was just a little nervous. Even if you didn't fully buy into the doomsday hype, it was hard to shake that what-if feeling. Because let's be honest, when the internet is bombarding you with conspiracy theories, it's hard not to be a little bit freaked out. But midnight came and went, and the world didn't explode, implode, or do anything particularly exciting. Everyone exhaled, laughed nervously, and went back to their regularly scheduled lives. But what if, at that moment, something shifted? What if we didn't make it out of 2012? Not really. See, there's this theory in psychology called collective consciousness, the idea that we, as a species, share a pool of thoughts, beliefs, and memories. It's like a hive mind, but less like the Borg and more trending topics. Think of it as the source code for our shared reality. But what if, on December 21, 2012, that collective consciousness couldn't handle what happened? What if, instead of accepting the truth, we collectively hit Control-Z and rebooted reality from an old save point? Maybe, just maybe, our brains couldn't handle the concept of the world actually ending, so instead, they did the next best thing, rebooted reality with a few bugs in the system. Kind of like when your computer crashes and you do a quick restore, only to find that a couple of crucial files are now mysteriously corrupted. But in this case, the corrupted files are those odd little glitches in our everyday lives, the things that make us stop and wonder if we're genuinely awake or just stuck in a half-remembered dream we can't seem to shake off. Ever have that fleeting feeling that something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is? Like life suddenly got weirdly meta, or reality is running on outdated software. Does life ever feel like a surreal fever dream to you? If so, take a moment to think back. Did this uncanny sensation start creeping in around, say, 2013-ish? Coincidence? Or did the universe hit Control-Alt-Delete and hope we wouldn't notice? Have you ever felt like you're trapped in some cosmic version of Groundhog Day, like time isn't this neat linear line but more like a skipping record, looping endlessly? Or maybe you've been hit with a wave of intense déjà vu, that unsettling certainty that you've been here, done this, heard that exact phrase before. It's like life keeps hitting replay on specific scenes, and you're the only one who's noticed. Some might brush it off as a misfiring brain or just another quirky mental trick, but others? Well, they'll tell you these aren't just brain glitches, they're cracks in the grand illusion. Tiny proof that the curtain dropped back in 2012, the lights went out, and now, we're living in the aftermath, cobbling together fragments of a shattered reality. It's like our collective consciousness is trying to patch up what's left with duct tape and wishful thinking. Think about it, what if all those loops, eerie repetitions, and freaky déjà vu moments are just our minds trying to stitch together a world that unraveled a while ago? Maybe the world didn't just end with a bang, it fizzled out, and we're all actors in the reboot, replaying scenes in an effort to keep the illusion going. Enter the Mandela effect, a phenomenon where large groups of people remember something differently from how it supposedly happened. You might remember Nelson Mandela dying in the 1980s, or swear that the Berenstain Bears were spelled with an E. Mainstream science explains it away as the flaws in human memory, but what if it's not our memory that's flawed? What if it's reality? These so-called false memories might just be remnants of the world we used to inhabit, like echoes bouncing around in a half-forgotten dream. Think of them as stray data from an old operating system, bleeding into our shiny new reality. Maybe when we rebooted the universe back in 2012, we accidentally crossed a few wires or left a few bugs in the code. Now, our collective illusion isn't quite running smoothly, it's peppered with tiny glitches, like the universe's way of whispering, "Hey, something's off, but you didn't hear it from me." These little hiccups, misplaced memories, people swearing certain events happened differently, or that brand logo suddenly looking wrong, might be the cosmic equivalent of bad editing. It's like reality got a hasty patch job, and instead of admitting the update didn't go perfectly, we just keep clicking remind me tomorrow. So these fragments hang around, trying to remind us that somewhere along the line, something fundamental changed, even if we all pretend not to notice. Maybe it's easier that way, better to live with a slightly buggy illusion than to face the fact that the source code of reality itself got a messy rewrite. And let's face it, in a world full of digital distractions, conspiracy theories spread like Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, fast, free, and everyone's jumping on without checking the source. But what if this one holds a kernel of truth? The more you dig, the more you start seeing these so-called glitches everywhere. Maybe it's just the brain playing tricks. Or maybe, reality isn't as solid as we think. Now, here's the creepiest version of the theory: what if we're not alive at all? What if December 21st, 2012, marked the end of everything, and we collectively just couldn't handle the truth? Some believe that, rather than facing oblivion, our consciousnesses created a shared afterlife, a purgatory that looks and feels like the world we knew. A place where we go through the motions, pretending everything's fine, but deep down, it's not. And we know it. Have you ever felt like you're watching your life from the back seats, like someone handed you the wrong script and you're just improvising? Some might call it dissociation, but according to this theory, it's more like a side effect of living in a reality we subconsciously know is running on borrowed time. We're like ghosts, haunting a world we accidentally created, trying to hold on to routines and relationships like life rafts in a glitchy ocean. Think about it, we keep checking our phones, sticking to our to-do lists, pretending we've got it all together, when in reality many of us feel like actors who missed half the rehearsal, trying to blend in while the set starts to crumble. Maybe it's not dissociation, maybe it's our brain sliding into our DMs saying, hey, are we all just pretending this isn't a bit weird or what? We're like sitcom characters trapped in a reboot, fumbling through the reruns and hoping nobody notices the script got swapped out for a random collection of scenes that don't actually make sense. But if we're all dead, and this is just a shared illusion, what happens if some of us start to wake up? There are stories of people experiencing moments of clarity, where they briefly see the cracks in the illusion. Maybe you felt it too, a sense of overwhelming déjà vu, like you're stuck in a loop. Or those moments when you catch yourself thinking, is this really happening? That's the illusion breaking down, if you believe the theory. If we start waking up, would it mean liberation, madness, or oblivion? Can we handle the truth of a world that no longer exists? Or are we too attached to our routines, our relationships, and the comforting lie of a reality we've carefully reconstructed? It's like when you're in a dream and you start to realize it's not real. Sometimes you wake up, but other times you fight to stay asleep because waking up would mean facing something terrifyingly unfamiliar. Maybe the whole 2012 prophecy wasn't about the world exploding in a fiery apocalypse, but the end of reality as we knew it. What if, instead of getting wiped off the face of the earth, we just got rebooted into a new version of reality, one with a few bugs and plot holes the developers were hoping we wouldn't notice? Maybe we're all still here, stuck in this shared illusion, desperately clinging to the routines and rules of a world that quietly packed its bags and left a while ago. Think about it, it's not about being alive or dead anymore, it's about whether we're truly awake. Are we just sleepwalking through a script, hitting our cues without realizing the set's made of cardboard and half the cast is missing? The real question isn't whether we survived some cosmic reset, it's whether we've been on autopilot ever since, nodding along to the storyline while the universe throws us curveballs like election chaos and a global pandemic. We're all just trying to keep a straight face while reality glitches and the writers seem to be having way too much fun with this season. Maybe 2012 was less game over and more like the universe hitting New Game Plus, and now we're left wondering if we're still the main characters or just NPCs navigating an endless stream of plot twists with Wi-Fi and takeout.